Welcome back to the Winning In podcast. I'm your host, Max P. I'm joined today by TolariaEast, the Sisay master. What's going on, man? How are you?
Good evening. Good evening. Not too bad. Still a little spent from coming back from Vegas. Let me tell you, I hate planes, but the travel, the events, it's always worth the pain.
Vegas looks so cool. I gotta go next year.
Did you
do the like learn to play CDH thing?
No, I didn't have time to. By the time I found out it was happening, it was like 10 minutes left in the event. And I was like, oh man, I didn't even get to see Comedian that weekend. I felt so sad.
Damn.
I always bump into those events.
Yeah, I got to go next year. I'm sad I missed it because it looked like too much fun.
Yeah, biggest event in the U.S., man. It's worth going. It's worth trying.
Yeah. So we got a chance to play together in a tournament a couple of weeks ago, which was the Festival of Nights 2. Fun fact, last year I played in that tournament. I played Florian and I came in 17th place.
Oh.
So very sad. But I think I redeemed myself this time. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then we're also going to talk about Sisay. The deck that used to be good that's dead now, right? It's just dead.
Oh, no, she's alive. She's alive and well. Oh, please. Yeah, wait. Keep telling everyone she's dead. She's dead.
Nobody should play Sisay. It's dead.
Don't do it.
Don't play it anymore.
Go.
It's gone. It's gone. So yeah, I mean, with that, let's just jump right into it. Sure. Festival of Nights 2 was up in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, up at Sword in the Stone. Great shop, great group of people there, and we both participated. We both competed our asses off. You went undefeated all the way through to top 4.
Yeah, I won 3 of my first rounds pretty straightforwardly, doing just good old-fashioned Sisay stuff. Then my last 2 rounds, the first one was a forced draw. I could have won it. I was able to put a win on the stack, but Jorman was like, if everyone knows who Jorman is, was like, oh, well, if you go for the win, I'll stop you. But if he goes, and looking at the other 2 players, oh, well, if he goes for the win, how about we just draw? And the other 2 players were like, fine, draws look better than losses. And I was like, I don't really care either way. I was down to draw. I was down to win, lose. I could really. But naturally, Jorman wanted that hot streak. But and then my 5th round was just a good draw. They went to time. I have so many Orcish Bowmasters, so much pain. But it went to time. And then top 16 squeaked it out. And then the last ditch effort, I got there. And the only loss was to you, my man. The only loss was to you. And you know what? I bow. It was well earned, well worth.
Appreciate that. It was fun. The whole tournament was fun.
Yeah, awesome. I got to give it to Sword in the Stone. It was the first time ever going to their shop. Beautiful shop, beautiful place. If to anyone who's hearing this, if you haven't been before, go there, man. Great shop. Absolutely.
And you wouldn't expect it because it's in the mall, right? So you usually go to these shops, they're freestanding, and you're like, it's a mall. How can there really be room for this? It's not going to really work out. Especially when I run a big tournament in a mall. How's that going to happen? But it's actually perfect. They have plenty of space. They even have an exit door that goes right outside. They got bathrooms.
That place was awesome. They have a little D&D room in the back too. It's there's a lot of live players in the front. You take the back. You have a nice peaceful D&D time.
Yeah,
that's always appreciated.
Exactly. And I won the whole fucking tournament, which was
you did
pretty
Dude,
great.
You fucking crushed it. That whole game, that final pod, man. I was this close each time. I was so close. Enduring Vitality was pushing me so hard, making so much mana. And it was all right, we're gonna Deadly Rollick it. Sisay, right? I'm like, oh no. We're gonna Deadly Rollick. I was like, okay, cool. I can eat 1 Deadly Rollick. And then I ate another Deadly Rollick.
The funny thing about that was it was all off my Wishclaw Talisman. I'm like, all right,
absolutely.
How do we really stretch this Wishclaw Talisman, right? Here, I'll give you the Wishclaw Talisman. You go get a Deadly Rollick, and then give it back to me. I'll go get a Deadly Rollick.
I'll also get it. The fact that I got double Rollicked, honestly, I can't even be mad, dude. That shit was hot.
Yeah, it was fun, and I had to really play that game very carefully because I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I did not want to be the threat at any point. I needed to stay under the radar because my opener, I had the silence and I had the retraction healing. So for those listening, the way that I won this game, the way I won this game was I silenced Trent here on his upkeep when he looked like he was about to win. Basically, he wasn't. He looked sufficiently like he was going to win to convince everyone else that he was going to win, so that I could resolve the silence. And then I had a Valley Flood Color already in play. I had a Mox Amber already in play that I had sort of slowly put there throughout the course of the game. and then I Retraction Helixed on the Valley Flood Caller after the Silence Resolve, made infinite mana, drew my deck. Eventually the line was, I discard my Thassa's Oracle with Survival of the Fittest, and then finale it into play is how you finish the
Which,
game. But
well, by the way,
it was
every time everyone has been asking me like, oh yeah, we were watching the stream, we saw how much mana you were putting up, how did you not win? Like, how did they win? And I was like, dude, it was some hot shit. And I explained the same thing, and they're just like, TNT can do that? It's like, yeah, dude, TNT is back. TNT is
hot.
the deck right now. TNT is a hot deck.
Yeah. So it's a good time. It won my first tournament. And especially special to me because, I lost my mom 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So in the week leading up to that tournament, I was like, do I play? Should I even go? Like, it was just a miserable time. And I'm like, what would my mom want me to do? She would want me to play. So I went.
She would have wanted you to kick ass, and look what you did. You brought home the bacon.
Win the whole fucking thing.
A whole pig, man. That was
amazing.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
Absolutely beautiful. Seriously.
Yeah. So here's my question. How the hell did you top 4 on a dead deck, dude?
Oh, I know, right? We came back from the grave, and then all of a sudden we're worth something looking at again, right? No, we you know what it has been, man? I realized that the second we lost Dockside, we needed to put way more mana on the field than ever before, right? And it might have been a bad play pattern once upon a time that when Dockside was legal, it would just be every hand, where's the Dockside? Every tutor, let's see at Dockside. Every win attempt was with Dockside. I came to a point of almost cutting all my Rainbow dorks. So I was like, what are they worth? I don't really need them. I could just get Dockside and do the same thing. And in this respect, I'm kind of happy they banned Dockside. I know, shoot me in the streets for it, but it has made me get a little more creative with my deck list. It's made me think outside the box. How do we push with Sisay now? And the answer is very simple. Mana. Recently, I was talking with an MTG comedian about this too. All that we got really replaced with was this Orrery. 7 mana Dockside is what I'm going to call it. It's what it is. We find this card, it's over. You let me resolve this, you let me tap this, if Sisay big enough, it's happening. GG, shake my hand. It's been wonderful. But alongside that has been, where is he? This handsome creature. The Elk of Elf. This guy right here, Enduring Vitality, mwah, chef's kiss. When I first, when the ban happened and I remade the deck, I had to kind of go from the ground up, and the first thing I thought of was Ethica. I used to play the shit out of Ethica. I love that card. Regardless of all the memes, it's good with Derevi and Nagila. I played that combo or that package for a little bit. And it was solid. But this, it was like, oh my god, everything's a Birds of Paradise. Pinnan has never been more important as well. This guy has won most of my games, both in practice and this weekend, or that weekend, I should say. It's been fun. Plus Marvin, what a great time for Dockside to get banned, because oh my god, this little guy has been putting in way too much work. I'm not sure if you know about the combo with him. He is not only a not bad haste enabler, right? Because if he's been sitting there long enough, and I drop like a Jeggy or something, and he gets the top. Since he's got enough power, we go up the chain. We get Tyvar first. Now we get 2 homies. We're just, we're Dance Revolutioning with these guys. But more so than that, where is she? IRF.
I actually went and picked up a Marvin.
Dude. Just in case, he's not a bad combo piece with a lot of things, but for specifically Sisay, it's with this class. IRF right here, she says untap 2 other target legendary creatures. So if let's say you have Ethica out, right? You have Marvin, Ethica, IRF. Marvin taps for a blue, Ethica taps for a green, IRF untaps them both, Ethica taps for a red, Marvin untaps them both, and then you just keep chaining off the mana.
Oh my god.
During my top 16 game, there was a moment where I tried to put another win attempt on the stack, and it was, you've never seen the table. My friend Nick, who was playing Malcolm Vile, went wide-eyed. He's like, what is this bulk rare nonsense? I'm like, yeah, take a look. And I started doing the untap chain, grabbed a Tyvar, started doing the thing, but naturally got blown out. I forgot what it was. I think someone had I think it was the Swords of Plowshares or just like an Abrupt Decay. Something was cast to remove Marvin, and I was like, okay.
Dude,
faster.
Yeah. Sisay's identity has changed for me. Because when I played against Sisay before the ban, right, my experience was always, holy shit, all they need to do is find a Dockside and I've lost the game. and
Yep.
you're just worried about it. You're worried about them tutoring. I got to
Yep.
hold up like this strict Serenade because if they land that Dockside, the game's over. Now that is not the way it feels playing in Sisay anymore. Now it feels like this inevitable juggernaut just sort of marching, the mana supply. Like it's just like it's like growing. Like how much mana do they have now? How many activations is that? Oh shit, is that 2 activations? They have 2 activations. If they cast Sisay now, I'm fucked. Like, and it just keeps going. And then like, and even when you kill Sisay, you're like, oh, they have all this mana, so they just recast it. So it just feels like you get to this point where it's just unstoppable. Almost like kind of the feelings I always have when I played against Tyan, believe it or not.
Okay, yeah, like where it's like the longer the game goes on, the more inevitable we become.
Exactly.
We're Thanosing the table, boys. Get ready.
No, that's what it feels like. It feels like
it's
like that that scene where he's about to snap his fingers and everything's trying to stop him, and like it just keeps going.
He's gonna snap
his hand.
Do it. Sorry,
Tony Stark, you can't stop it. That's how Sisay feels to me now, right?
Absolutely.
And you must have changed a lot. I mean, like, how many cards different is this now from like pre-ban Sisay?
You know what? I would love to see, because I did when the ban happened, the first thing I did was, all right, what happens now is all different. I think I literally made a list yesterday before the ban. Yeah.
Nice.
16 cards different.
That's huge. That's a huge difference. Yeah.
And if you notice, like, all of them are clones. And like, I'll get a lot of shit for this. I'm sure if anyone looks at my list for these coming weeks, I'm not playing Force of Will anymore. And the biggest thing that people are mad at me for, they're like, what are you doing? That's the best interaction. Like, it's good, but if I don't have the blue for it, it's a dead card. And I was like, before the ban, I never really had a problem Force of Willing. What's going on now? And I did the comparison. I was like, oh my God, look at all these blue slots. Colossal Sky Turtle, Lavinia, all 3 freaking clones. Neoform, like all these things that just are able to make sure that blue pip is always there. All of those clones to make sure if I even get 1 Dockside, the game's over. And it's pretty good. Right. It's really strong. Right. And I cut a lot of my tutors. I cut Neoform. It's only efficient with Dockside. It's probably not bad still, but it's not my game plan. I cut E-Call, same thing. I'd rather play like Court of Calling, where it puts the creature straight into play. So maybe I get haste on the next turn. Wishclaw Talisman, for God's sakes. The main reason I played Wishclaw Talisman, I hate Wishclaw Talisman. I never want to slot. It was the only reason for it, because typically it was the 5th artifact, and we only need 5. We only need 5 treasures to blow out the table. Rocco for, again, Dockside. All these cards, all these pieces are straight up for Dockside. And then my girl Lauren, she's probably gonna come back at some point. She was really just there for like blind obediences and curse totems, but I haven't seen a blind obedience since Dockside got banned. And curse totem, I'm still not too worried about it. I don't know. That'll come in time. I'm more worried about making sure I push my own win cons before stopping someone else's stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but so you go from being a Dockside deck to being essentially a Birds of Paradise deck, right? Because now you're basically turn everything to Birds of Paradise, and that's how you win.
I think it's pretty reasonable to say, yeah. To add into the same thing of like Wishclaw Talisman, I hate Orcish Bowmaster, right? In the clone meta, playing Orcish Bowmaster was a death sentence. If your Orcish Bowmaster is first, you're losing it immediately. You always want to have the last Orcish Bowmaster, but now, dude, I love Orcish Bowmaster. Not only is it a counter spell for Orcish Bowmaster, which, hey, Wizards, if you're listening, ban Orcish Bowmaster. When people are playing Orcish Bowmaster, just to counter the other one. For the love of God, figure it out. Anyway. Not only that, the token now has good Cauldron synergies. Anything I exile into Cauldron, this token can now do. It's great with Selvala. During practice games, my Orcish Bowmaster token would be bigger than Sisay, and for Selvala, it would generate so much mana. But the number one reason, it's a 2-for-1 card. With 2 mana, I get 2 creatures. With Enduring Vitality, that's 2 mana. That's enormous. That's a huge push. That happened in one of my games where I had 7 creatures that 2 of them were the OBM and the token, and it made the difference, making sure I had that extra push of mana. I love it. I love it so much. Same thing with Essica. It's the first thing I brought back just to be thinking about it. Cannon has never been more important. I love it. I just love it. We're Treasure and Birds of Paradise tribal deck now.
Yeah, and I guess just like Kinnan can cast giant spells, I mean, this deck can do the same thing. So casting that 7 mana Chromatic Ori is like, yeah, okay.
I got a question for you. What do you think has happened more, me casting it or me tutoring for it?
I bet you cast it. I bet you freaking cast it. Do you cast it?
Yes, sir.
knew
I
it.
have.
I knew it.
I've been keeping a record of it. Out of like the various games, it's been like 70% cast, 30% tutor. The tutor happens. Don't get me wrong. I will get her big enough eventually. But man, have I e-tutored for a lot of chromatic Oris or just open hands where it's like 2 lands, Soul Ring, Enduring Vitality, another creature, Ori, and a land. I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Let's see what happens.
Disgusting.
Like, oh my god, Delighted Halfling. I can't tell you how many times I've been like, all right, cool, Delighted Halfling, 6 more mana, Ori, and everyone's like, oh, we can counter. No, oh.
Where's your mind break trap? Better get your mind break trap. No
We
mind
should
break
have
trap.
killed the
you
Delighted
lose.
Halfling. It's like, yeah, exactly. It's
Good.
been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I always chat talk Chromatic Ori while Dockside was there, because it was like, why the flying hell would I play this 7 mana artifact when the 2 mana win con is right there? You know, I'm all for efficiency. But now it's like, oh, Ori's my patron saint, dude. I will start a religion for this rock.
What about some of these other choices? Talk me through, man.
So I have a few interesting picks for sure. You know, the Planeswalker package is pretty standard. I slotted in Diata immediately. I always made the joke to people, and this was months ago. Oh, you know, when Dockside ever gets banned, Diata goes in immediately. You know, it's you need 3 more mana to push with it as far as like, you know, doing the Planeswalker loop. I always hated it because the small chance that you flip over one of like the more important pieces for the Oath of Bolas combo. I didn't like even the small percentage on it. But with Dockside gone, those percentages are out the window. I don't care. We got to put as many efficient win cons in the deck as possible, and she's close enough. I'm not usually a fan of DRS personally, but I wound up cutting it. I'll show my current list in a little while, I'm sure. But it was pretty solid. It wound up killing the TNK player in my top 16 game, being at 2 life after the worst Naws I've ever seen in my entire life. That felt fantastic. This is what I'm gonna get a lot of weird eyes for. Now, listen, don't call me crazy just yet. Now, off the rip, right? Everyone just thinks, oh, 5 treasures, grab Ori, right? How are we getting there? Well, we have Diata, we have Lotho, we have Smothering Tithe. I had one of my practice games where I put a turn 1 Smothering Tithe on the table, you know, like land, rock, Metal Vault, you know, put Smothering Tithe down. I wound up getting like 3 treasures. I put Sisay on the field next, you know, went around. I got more treasures because someone played a risk study, no one was being responsible about it. And then I played Magda on my turn, had 9 treasures and some mana up, and I'm just like, all right, cool, play Magda. Oh no, we don't have a counter spell for a creature. Oh, don't you? Okay, cool. Sack them off, get Ori, go about my business. And everyone's like, oh. But obviously that's a cool use for it. I more wanted it for the all the tap effects I have. Between Estica and Enduring Vitality, I even put Springleaf Drum in.
Ooh.
Yeah, like all the way
you tap Magda is like a mana dork and get a treasure.
And get a treasure, exactly. And you know what?
Awesome.
I slotted her out for this weekend. I have a Battle at the Cradle tournament coming up, which I'm very excited for at Rip and Ship Arena. But I wanted to be more consistent. And let's be honest, while we're still in Orcish Bowmaster hell, Magda's not making it around usually. She was a cute pick. She was a cute pick, but she did her job. OBM, I already sung my praises on him. He, unfortunately, right now, if you're on black, you should just be playing OBM. It's unfortunate but true. Even if you don't love the card, it's a counterspell for other Orcish Bowmasters. Like unfortunately, that's the meta that Wizards has pushed on us. And then IRS, I think I already mentioned with Marvin. You know, she's a secondary win con at instant speed. If you were able to like whip out haste somehow. You know, you do the untap flicker stuff, you make infinite mana, you go back whatever pivot you really want.
You're on Tyvar, right? Yeah. There you go.
Especially, oh dude, Tyvar's my sweet elven king right here. Crazily enough, I cut Emil before this weekend, before Festival of Nights 2. I had like a huge existential breakdown with myself, being like, what am I doing? How is Sisay winning without Dockside? What's going on? And a lot of my wins up until that weekend were because of Irith Marvin, or just having like a big enough Wulberg Dork and going up the Planeswalker combo anyway. Like, it hadn't mattered. But someone was talking to me in the Sisay server, I think it was Lynx, shout out to him, telling me that how do I win at instant speed? He was one of the first people to press me about it. And I was like, well, Irith, well, no, it's only if I have haste. It's not always true. And the day before, no, actually, no, hours before the Festival of Nights 2, I was playing Sakashima in that case. I was like, you know what? What the hell do I care enough to copy, right? I'm trying to figure out my own thing, not try to copy someone else's situation. Let's just swap it. It's a 4-drop. I'm very extreme on myself about the 4-drop slots, and I'm happy that I did. My first 2 rounds were won because of instant speed Emiels, just putting way too much push on the table. And it's fantastic. It's phenomenal. It's still efficient. It's still worth it. Any Sisay player out there, don't listen to my crazy ass from 2 months ago. Keep Emiel. Emiel is good.
What are you blinking with it? What are you blinking with it?
Typically Derevi. Derevi is like the big meme. If you have Tyvar out or like another like haste enabler, you can flicker a big enough Matador, can still make infinite mana that way. But typically Derevi, right? If Derevi,
Nice.
honestly, if I lose Derevi, I kind of shit my pants. I don't know what the hell I'm doing for the rest of that game. Now, a lot of people, if they know like a classic Sisay list, you'll notice I'm not playing Faber Elder at the time. I haven't been big on Faber Elder for a long time, especially when Dockside was here. Because in my head, it was like Dockside, Selvala, Bloom Tender, Faber Elder, and like in that order of like importance for like what's gonna put the push on the stack. And after this ban, I was like, well, I'm putting in Diata, Ori, Gigantha, Selvala, BT, and I'm like, what's the worst of all of those? It's Faber Elder. And in my head, I was like, well, if I'm gonna cut a 3-drop, what am I gonna fit it in with? And that's where Enduring Vitality went. And I'm gonna say it, Enduring Vitality has put wins on the stack way more in way more like various places than Faber ever could have or did. Now, mind you, my current list, I'm swapping Jeggy back out for Faber Elder for the sake of like efficiency and mana and balance and what have you, but we'll see. Like I just mentioned, Gigantha.
I mean, it makes sense to me. The way the deck plays now is very different because you want to drop legends on the battlefield and then you want to turn them into mana dorks. So
Exactly.
that play pattern, Faber, first of all, is not a legend, not a legendary creature, right? Second of all, like you don't necessarily have all the colors all the time, right? So
Exactly.
Faber Elder, especially early game, just kind of sucks, right? It's just not that great. You get tap 3, and and then wait a turn to even get use out of it. Like it's just, yeah, I can see why it's just not nearly as good.
So many games when I was playing it where it was like, oh, I didn't have the red, I didn't have the blue, and that one little miss just kept irking me. And I was like, you know what? We're cutting it. We're cutting it for the weekend. And you know what? It didn't matter, right? I didn't even see Gigantha, if I'm being honest with you. Gigantha did jack shit for me that weekend.
Yeah, although Gigantha plus Marvin seems pretty hot, I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly. And that's why I put Gigantha in over it, because at least it's making sure I have the exact like colors to win. Gigantha puts Sisay at the exact power to go grab whatever the flying hell you want to continue the chain. It's wonderful. A lot of people have been asking me about Imp Steel. I'm gonna be 100 with you. It just grabs a base, like a command tower most of the time. It has pretty much just been guaranteeing a land drop for me in every game that I've played.
I cut Imp Steel. I cut Imp Steel from TNT.
That's fair.
Crazy. Just because I go and I cast Imp Steel, and what am I really doing? I'm just trying to get like
what are we putting on top? I wound up cutting it in my current list. Because like I said, all it was really doing was finding me a land, and that's not, let's be honest, at sorcery speed, that's not efficient enough. As far as other slots go, I never really liked Cycrift during the Dockside time, because A, we can't abuse our own things with it, B, we typically never want to overload it, because if we're winning with Dockside, we need everyone's stuff to be there. In the same place I used to have Soul Partition, but now that Dockside doesn't matter, screw it, let's make sure we can have a board wipe. I need to have some way to clear the field at necessary, right? Galadriel's Dismissal, I think we were talking about this earlier, where sure, it's great as some good old-fashioned removal. You can get rid of a whole person's, like maybe one creature that's bothering you. It's typically opposition agent. Or I've seen, since this meta change, a huge uptick in board wipes. Yahenni's Expertise, crazily enough, because of Italian players, Toxic Deluge. I even got a Supreme Verdict at the SCG Virginia, and I was like, what world is this? And Galadriel's Dismissal has been great to be like, oh cool, everyone else's stuff's getting board wiped, I'm gonna protect my stuff, I'm gonna dip out for a turn, I'm gonna have a 4-mana baby Teferi's protection, and it's been working out so far. Into the Flood Maw, just a good old-fashioned removal piece that's not Chain of Vapor. I'm sorry, any Sisay player that plays Chain of Vapor, stop it, you're being bad. That card will be used against you so freaking fast. We need cards that cannot be swatted to our own thing. is so important.
I've been off a Chain of Vapor for a while now because I ran it and
Yeah.
when I built Talion, I started doing the whole Talion thing. Like, there's nothing worse than casting a Chain of Vapor and then having someone copy it and bounce your Blood Chief's Ascension.
Point the gun right back at you. Yep.
Ugh,
And then it turns into a whole my friend Tommy loves doing this like reverse politic thing where it's like, I'm gonna Chain of Vapor the wrong thing, so that player now has to Chain of Vapor your thing.
Yeah.
And then you can sit there and continue the chain and keep getting abused, and like, oh my god, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
Disgusting. Yeah, disgusting.
Exactly. Trick Serenade, every Sisay player should be on this card. It hits Opposition Agent, it hits Curse Totem. That is the floor of that card, and there's no reason any argument should be made against it otherwise. At worst,
I've been preaching this card
hits
forever.
bonus.
I love Trick Serenade.
It's so
my favorite
good.
card.
This is made
Yeah.
for CEDH. It's necessary. And then I think I said it earlier as well. I'm not playing Force to Will right now. With my blue pips being so much farther down, it's not worth it. And going 2 for 1 with like all the blue cards I have in my deck now, a lot of them are super important while being counterspells themselves or combo pieces. I had to pitch a one of the last games I played with Force to Will. I had to pitch Nico Bolas to make sure we didn't lose the game. And on my turn, I like untap upkeep and couldn't do anything. You know, without Nico Bolas, it like blew out like the pivot that I was able to have. It was heart wrenching. And in that case, I just put an offer you can't refuse. Who's gonna argue with Kitty Jace? I'm sorry, Foundations. You have a really weird looking smoking guy in a cool looking room, but Kitty Jace will always win. And then moving down to like artifacts, I really want to push Mox Opal. I have always been a Mox Opal enjoyer. I used to play Modern Affinity way back in the day, and Mox Opal was my favorite card. I have one of each Mox Opal that has ever existed, just as like a hot pet card, and I want to make it work here. I have tried to burrow myself with so much artifact enjoyment. Like, I'm playing Springleaf Drum, not even just for like the Magda, just to really make sure that Opal count is good. I'm playing Felwar Stone just to make sure that Opal count is good. I always want to make sure Opal is good. During one of my games, it was my round 3 game, I opened up a hand that was crazy. Hold on, I have to scroll down in my little thing. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll take a picture of this hand and the people will love it. Oh yeah, so it was Oath of Nissa, Worldly Tutor, Mox Opal, Command Tower, Springleaf Drum, Mox Amber, Imperial Seal. So my plan was untap, play Command Tower, Springleaf Drum, Mox Opal, Mox Amber, keep up the Worldly Tutor, grab Ragavan, and who knows what happens from there, right? That was the whole opener. But a Malcolm Vile player dropped a turn. They were going first, I was going second. They dropped a turn 1 Vexing Bauble, and I just went, oh. You want to talk about a back-breaking card? No, I wound up that game took forever, but I wound up winning it just by the skin of my teeth. I still wound up grabbing Ragavan that game, and I grabbed Enduring Vitality with the Imperial. I Worldly Tutored for Ragavan at end step, Imperial Shield for Enduring Vitality at some point, and we're sitting there for a while, we're waiting. I go at one point to put Teferi on this deck, so I have a shit ton of mana. If I grab Kinnan and I untap, I win the game. I put a spin on the stack, and I grab Teferi. And the whole table goes, oh shit, it's all over. And I'm like, don't let them know you still need 2 mana. Don't let them know. I'm like, yeah, guys, it's all over. It's over. Tiki breaky. And we go to my turn, and I'm starting to do the thing, and the Yuriko player looks at the Malcolm Vile player, being like, dude, look, you need to crack that Vexing Bauble just so you can maybe find your Otawara. And I'm just sitting there like, oh yeah, that's fair. Otawara's the only thing that's getting you out of this. Who knows, man? And he cracks it. I'm like, cool. Did you find Otawara? He's like, no, it was a Bloodstained Mire. I'm like, all right, fantastic. Mox Opal from hand. I've acted the Soul Cauldron. That's 10 mana. Go about my business. And it was a clean game from there. I have always tried to make Mox Opal work, and I'm gonna keep trying. I think
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence big time. This is my current crisis in TNT right now, is that I really want to run a Mox Opal, but I'm on 11 artifacts right now. So Mox Opal would be my 12th.
Is that counting Esper Sentinel?
No, it's not counting Esper Sentinel. So Esper Sentinel makes it 13.
13. I've always been on the realm of you want Mox Opal to be your 15th artifact. That has always been like the brain space of my head of you want to have it be the 15th. And I'm gonna double check to make sure I'm not talking out of my ass. Yeah. So Marvin is an artifact, Esper Sentinel is an artifact, Mox Opal would be the 15th artifact, and I play a shit ton of treasure generation, you know?
You also, yeah, you got Ragavan too. I mean, Ragavan by itself,
Ragavan,
very
Lothal,
quick.
Diata.
Yeah,
Like,
I do have
there's so many
Lotho. I do have
things.
Smothering Tide, so it might
Smothering
work,
Tide.
maybe. Yeah, but
It's, I would still say wait until it's your 15th. You are playing the Valley Floodcaller memes though, so maybe it's a bit more important.
especially, yeah, well, that's why I want to play it. I want because of that combo, you know.
Absolutely.
And especially because I have a special Mox Opal, very special to me.
What?
Because
what's
at
special?
Top Deck Expo,
Oh,
I did the thing where I top decked the Mox Opal, and I played the Mox Opal even though I had no use for it and didn't need it at all. And then I cast Thassa's Oracle, and then I cast Demonic Consultation into a Mindbreak Trap. So I have a very special Mox Opal where Gold Sabertooth has gone and altered the art for Mindbreak Trap into the background of the Mox Opal on the Mox Opal.
Oh, dude, that's all right. That's hot as hell. Thank you, Gold Saber, for your artwork. Holy crap, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I would whip out the binder for it. Like I said, I have one of each Mox Opal. From Invention to OG Foil, I have everything just because I love that card so much.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I want to run it. I just don't know how.
You should. You gotta find room. I don't know what you gotta do. Plot in Magda and Springleaf Cauldron like some kind of freak.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I have a little bit of like Sisay envy every time I look at your list because I'm like, I want to run Relic of Legends 2.
I want to run this weird
Soul Cauldron.
Yeah.
I want to run Marvin. Those are cool cards. I want to run those.
Marvin. I don't know how much it really does for TNT, but
nah. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, and then moving down, you know, we have the classic, you know, Smothering Tide, Oath of Fairy. I play Oath of Nissa. You know, a lot of people have told me, people actually today have asked me, because I'm updating my list, and I have a little thread in the Sisay Discord where people ask me questions, and they're like, is Oath of Nissa a necessary card? And the simple answer is no, right? It is on paper a terrible card. Almost no one should play it, but it's special to me. There's too many times where it has been the easiest way for me to make sure I get a land drop. Make sure I can. You've never felt as huge as when you play a turn 1 Mana Vault into a turn 2 land with Oath of Nissa there, and you tap all of it and play Diata from your hand, all because of the Mana Vault. Like, that's crazy. I've had Mana Vault tap for Tyvar, for Teferi. Like, it's just so helpful for these weird ass planeswalkers that we play. And my favorite part about it personally is that it's an indestructible pip, right? Sisay's gonna eat board wipes every single day, but making sure that we have at least one pip left, it's so important. And like, I've seen Malcolm do this a few times, where he just abuses the Oath of Nissa with Aminatau. He'll just sit there keeping up blockers and just flicker the Oath of Nissa, being like, yeah, give me some value, give me some shit. And it's not bad. I've seen it win him games. It's not the worst thing in the world. I gotta give it to him.
And there's something to be said for value pieces that are completely under the radar, like, and no one will ever fuck with.
Exactly. You know? If you mental missed up my Oath of Nissa, fucking, you did it. You broke my back, dude. You did it. All right, Demonic Constellation Thoracle. All right, good GG.
Yeah.
And then as far as lands go, I'm pretty standard. You know, I have nothing crazy going on here. I'm pushing all the rainbow lands except for Forbidden Orchard, because I'm in the realm of no one should play Forbidden Orchard. That card is terrible. Stop with these terrible gaming habits. There's some ways to abuse it. I don't care. I'm not here for it. I'm not giving my opponent a Timna Swinger. I'm just not.
Yeah, makes sense. I use it in Italian, but that's because it's Italian's a different kind of deck for that.
Exactly. There's better uses for it. You play more board wipes. Like, there's different ways to do things with it. It's not for me. So that's at least my list for Festival of Nights 2.
I was on record a few weeks ago, like when the ban happened, I was like, I wouldn't even play Sisay anymore. Sisay's a dead deck.
You one of the shit talkers, not one of the.
I was like, no, at least we don't have to worry about Sisay anymore. Sisay's done. We'll never happen again.
Please don't worry about us. We're done. Oh. I was giggling to myself, and I'm still giggling to myself. The first thing you and me talked about at the beginning of the tournament, what was it, like 10 a.m. Festival Nights? They just opened the doors, and you look at me and say, "So Trent, still on Sisay?" And I'm like, yeah. And you're like, we gotta evolve you, kid. We gotta get you off that crap. We gotta make sure you're playing a good deck from here on. And I'm like, I don't know. I'll always complete with my girl. Sisay is my forever homie. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
maybe
God.
Kenan,
You got me, dude.
maybe jokes with separate. And then I saw you in the top 4 pot, and I was like, so Sisay is dead, huh?
Yep. Yep.
It was a fun full circle for me. I'll be honest with you.
That was pretty. I mean, it had to go that way at that point. As soon
had
as I
to,
opened
right?
my
It was-
big
it was-
mouth, as soon as I opened my big mouth, and I'm like, "We're gonna get you on something else." Like, you listen, Trent, listen. You shouldn't feel compelled to be stuck on this bad deck. You can play other decks, Trent. You can play other decks.
You gotta adapt. You gotta evolve, Trent. Come on.
Don't get tunnel vision. Don't get tunnel vision. You can play something else.
Oh my god, I remember that so dude, it was so funny. And oh my god, even comedian was just like, oh my god, he's cooking. He's cooking. It was fantastic. But yeah, it was a great weekend. I loved my list. Few little things that I changed I'm really happy about. Because obviously, you know, post that I had to make some edits. I'm gonna switch over to my my main list now. And off the rip, I realized that I just want to put more confident mana on this deck. So cards like Carpet of Flowers, I was pushing for a while. DRS, as much as DRS is a great card, there was my I think it was my top 15 game where I was like, all right, cool, I can make all this mana. All I need is white, and DRS can tap for nothing because everyone was playing smart. They saw my turn 1 DRS and they're like, all right, cool. I'm going to make sure my fetch is the last thing that I do. And it hurt, dude. It hurt so much. I've always been on this like philosophy of I never want to play cards that rely on your opponents. Even as whimsical as a DRS, even as how great utility that the card has, I don't want to rely on my opponents for that card to be good. I just don't. I swapped it out for Avacyn's Pilgrim. I realized that my white count is now my second highest in the deck, right after green. I think it makes sense to. I'm not necessarily married to him, but for the sake of, I put Dryneth back in.
You know what the problem with Avacyn's? You know the problem with Avacyn's Pilgrim?
Oh, please, tell me.
There's no good art of Avacyn's Pilgrim.
Oh my god, dude, you're telling me, and I'm not allowed to foil my deck. The promo version. Look at this guy. Where is he? Look at this. That's gorgeous. Beautiful. I like it at least. But I can't play
Actually,
with
you know
foils.
what? I haven't seen that one. That's pretty hot.
That's a hot art, but I'm not allowed to play with foils. The woman of mine, she many moons ago found out the cost of Magic. She's like, oh hey, you know, this is one, oh my god, this is like just before COVID. Moxfield was just becoming a big thing. My deck was fully inventioned, OG foil, expeditions, like to the 9, pimped, right? And I'm putting my deck list on Moxfield. She comes up behind me and she's like, oh, hi, honey. What are you doing? I'm like, oh, babe, there's this wonderful new website called Moxfield. And she sees the name of the deck, sees all the cards, sees $28,000 on the bottom left of the bottom. And now I have a very sweet woman. I love her very deeply. But you saw her face go all joyous to, what is that number on the bottom of your screen? I'm like, that's the cost
You get the
of
smoke
the deck,
coming out of the
honey.
corner of the eyes.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
where does
yeah.
that come from?
I saw her raising the metaphorical chancla in her hand, ready to swing at me. And she just goes, "You're not." This is the best quote. "You are not allowed to play with a deck that's worth 3 times your car." And I was like, that is a painfully fair representation.
But see, I've been married for 18 years. I've been married for 18 years.
Fair.
Okay. And I've learned to explain to my wife that in this day and age, Magic has gone into this phase where Wizards of the Coast is overprinting foils. And sometimes, in fact, non-foils are more expensive than foils.
The foils can be cheaper. What card was I looking at recently where it was exactly that? It was like a $30 card normally, $23 foil. I'm just like,
I guess I have to buy foils.
I got foils. But I will say that her pressuring on me has forced me on my beta kick. All the versions that you see in my list are accurate. I use like my beta bird I got in SEG DC a couple weekends ago. I got all my German FBBs over the past couple months. No, I just love beta. It's OG. It's that OG art. I love the retro border, the classic stuff. It feels right.
Yeah, hell
But
yeah.
I know she can hear me right now, and I'm coming out, honey. Beta is worth way more than foils. Please let me sleep on the bed tonight. I love you, honey.
Oh
yeah.
man. Oh man.
Oh god, I
funny.
can feel
That's
her
funny.
eyes from here. Anyway, so I put Dranith back in over Lavinia because while Lavinia was solid, I think Dranith, while we're out of the clone meta that we were in, he's gonna get hit a lot less, and it's pretty backbreaking for a lot of decks to not be able to access their Tymna, not to access their breach turns. And listen, if they're spending removal on Dranith, that's one less removal piece that Enduring Vitality or Sisay has to hit. So I'm down. I'm not sold on it. I'm still just trying it, but for now, I think it's a good place to be.
I do think Lavinia is pretty bad right now. Just
I think so as well.
Because,
I think so as well.
You know, people are playing a lot more creatures. They're playing a lot more, dorks. It's just people have access to a lot more mana in general right now.
Exactly. So, and the games are slower, so people are making sure they hit their land drops. So like that restriction doesn't hit them anymore. And who knows? Maybe we're both wrong. Maybe Lavinia is like the number one thing we should be on right now. But who knows? For the sake of my testing, she hasn't been good. She hasn't been. Then we have Ruby. Birthing Pod Bill, as we like to call him, has been trying to get us on this card. This and Biophages. I'm sorry, Bill. You'll never get me on Biophages. But Ruby Daring Tracker has been a great card so far in my testing. She's a red and a green pip, which a red pip is very hard to get. She has haste, and she taps for red or green. I see the head shake. You think it's bad? Is this coke?
No, it's hilarious to me because on my way back from festival, I was with Brandon Snowbound Leaf.
Right.
And we're talking the whole way home. We're like, man, if only we could find a legendary mana dork that doesn't suck. That's what Sisay really needs. And we didn't even find this card, like in our multiple Scryfall searches. We didn't find it.
Yep. And like on the surface, this card looks kind of crappy, but let me tell you, 2 mana for a 1/2 that doesn't get bopped out by an OBM on the spot, and it taps for our hardest color, which is red. She's been pretty solid. And like I still play Estica, I still play Relic, I still play Enduring Vitality. Eventually she will just make Wooburg for me. And Sisay being at 4 power is like the danger zone, right? Like I can go for almost anything at that point. She's been really good. She's been very good so far in my initial test.
Nice.
I cut Imperial Seal, like I said, if it's just getting a freaking basic or a land, it doesn't fucking matter.
I approve.
Now here's the hot pick of the weekend. Once another shout out to my friend Link. Invigorate. Yeah, there's the squid. If I control a forest, someone can gain 3 life, and Sisay gets +4/+4.
It's a free pump spell.
It's a free coda. It's a free coda. That's what we like to call it. That's Sisay on the picture right there. She's dancing. She is with that Wumpus beast. She's getting down. I have yet to test it. This is a brand new edition as of today. But on paper, we need to get Sisay to as high a power as possible, and this is a great way to do it at literally free cost.
And you don't give a shit about someone getting 3 life. I mean, this is free.
We don't. As long as we don't give it to the Adnos player, I think we're gonna be fine.
I can't believe I like this card. What the hell's wrong with me?
Right? That's what I said. And I'll give shit to Lynx every day. Where I was looking at this card like, dude, you're out of your fucking mind. What are you talking about? This isn't it. But after I had a couple like play games, play test games with my friend at my LGS, and I was just like, man, if only I had like a super cheap way to just buff the shit out of Sisay that wasn't just.
Well, that lets you set up the situation where like you pass turn with this in your hand, Sisay in play, and looking like you can explain the table. Look, Sisay is only 2 power, dude. You have nothing to worry about.
There's nothing going
You're
on.
Fine.
Man.
You're fine. Relax. Yeah, I mean, I have an activation. What am I gonna get? I get a guy's great.
I'm gonna get Oath of Nissa. I'm gonna get Ragavan.
You're fine. Relax. Everyone relax. Oh, counter war. Oh, we're fighting. You're trying to win the game. Oh, everyone's out of stuff, huh? Invigorate, activate Sisay.
Bada bing.
Yeah.
Oh god. No, I would like to believe in it. I'm gonna give it a hot shot. We'll see. And then I put in Deadly Rollick because you know exactly why.
Kills an
Between-
opposition agent.
No, mostly because you and Gold Saber beating the dick out of me with it. There was one game where there was a Adrenaline Vala on the table just being passed around like a bicycle, and I was just like, man, this is a terrible time. I wish I had some free interaction, or at least just more removal to begin with, and especially some exiling. And I was like, what better? You know, what better is gonna get the job done?
Yeah, it turns out Abrupt Decay cannot kill Adrenaline Vala. I learned that the hard way the other day.
No, it cannot.
Doesn't kill it.
It's so fucked up. That's the exact kill spell I had in my hand the whole game. I was like, no, please let me know.
This happened to me too. Yes. Yes.
It's so.
Let me ask you a
so
question.
painful.
Did the Adrenaline Vala player win the game?
No, that was my round 5 pod. That game went to a draw because we were just like passing that around for so long. And at one point I got the Adrenaline Vala, and then before I could even go to my turn, a board wipe happened, and I was just like, oh, come on, man, please, come on. It's good. It's got to be good, right? I played it before Dockside ban. It was good. It's got to be good now, right? Free removal. I didn't change my artifacts much. Didn't change my enchantments, and I wound up going down a land. That's really all like the major changes from that from the weekend. I think I did a little. How do I do this again? There it is. 6 cards. Oh, and Faber Elder, the biggest homie to come back.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah, after getting so much shit for it in the Sisay Discord, I love you all. Big shout out to everyone on that server who I have to wake up at 9 a.m. to a ping. What are you doing with that Faber Elder? Guys, I'm trying, okay? Love me, please.
I gotta tell you, like, shout out to the Sisay Discord, because of all the Discords of decks that I don't play, I enjoy the Sisay Discord the most. Like, good conversation.
That's high praise.
There.
That's very high praise. Yeah, man. You know, we have our trolls, we have our dickheads, we have our overbearing guys, much like myself, who's like, what are you doing playing this card? You're a monster. But like, at the end of the day, we're all trying to have helpful conversations. We're trying to make sure we play the best Sisay that we can. And like, we have everything from the most expensive versions to a budget. We had someone ask today, guys, I'm not allowed to play Cradle in my meta. What the shit do I do? And the first thing I said was, you get that Growing Rights of Itlamok and you buckle those straps, young man. How to do?
Growing Rights of Itlamok is that's a Eula Bear staple, man. I run that in my.
Oh yeah. Dude,
yeah.
I love Growing Rights. I'll play that card almost any green deck that I play just because it can become a Cradle. Just because.
Hell yeah.
I love it. But yeah, those are the big swaps. And I think it was like Rollick for Into the Floodmaw, Addison's Pilgrim for the DRS, Fabor for the Jeggy, Magda for the Mire, or for the Dranis, Imp Steel for the Ruby, and Bloodstained Mire for the Invigorate. I think that's how I like balanced it in my head. Not necessarily 1-for-1 slots, just like stuff that I wanted to try out. Those were like the fluffier cards. I still kind of want to cut Oath of Nissa. As much as I do love that card, I still think it's fine to like not play. And maybe I should be on something more efficient, but all we're gonna find out that is through time and gameplay, right?
Yeah. And no deck can be perfect. There's got to be, you got to run some cards that are, questionable.
Exactly.
So what about like any future cards, anything that's been spoiled yet that you're excited about?
Foundations didn't really give us much. A lot of people were like, "Oh, what are the legends? What's good in the legend department?" And like, there was that one like Ragavan creature that like turns all your creatures into Ragavans. I thought that was cool, but at 4-drop, you're not gonna catch me on that. Like I said, I'm hypercritical on my 4+ slots. But I usually look at the commons and uncommons, because that's usually where like the interesting like, oh, like that's a straight swap for this or that. And I didn't see anything that was impressive. And I don't think we're getting a new set after Foundations until, I don't know, February? I don't know if I'm right.
I forget the name of it. There's another one coming out. They showed like a handful of previews for it, but nothing crazy and nothing that impressive yet anyway.
I think for now
it's going to be an artifact set, as it looks. Aether Drift, that's what it's called.
Oh yeah, Aether Drift. Which hey, please give me more cool artifacts. I beg of you. My mobile.
There'll be
please.
some cool. There will be for sure. And by then, we'll have Mana Crypt back, which will bonus back.
I think so. I hope so. Maybe it's okay that it's not.
I think it's okay. I'm enjoying brewing right now. I'm having fun. I think in like retrospect, banning Dockside turned out to be a good thing. I think.
Yeah, at this point, I think I agree.
I still think Mana Crypt and Jewel Lotus should not have been banned and are not good for the format. Like even still, so many commanders become unviable because you can't get them out quick enough to matter.
I agree. My friend, before like the week before, no, 2 days before the ban, we've been talking, hanging out at my house, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna remake my Narset deck, the one that the extra turn Narset." He's like, "I don't care. We're gonna bring her back. She's my baby girl." I'm like, "Awesome, let's do it." So we remade his deck, all the turns, Mana Crypt, Jeweled Lotus, and Dockside. I sold him the Dockside the day before the ban, and he messages me the next day, and he's like, "So Papa, we gotta talk." And I'm like, "I agree. See you at 4." And I felt so bad because not even the Dockside, right? Like I swapped him back to Dockside. We gave him different cards. It's not a problem. It was the Jeweled Lotus. The Jeweled Lotus hurt that deck so much.
Yeah.
And like, if the games have turned slower, maybe it's okay, because if you're just able to like, there's still plenty of mana rocks to get out, like a turn 2, turn 3 Narset. It's not impossible. But decks like Tivit, Narset, what are some other like big commanders? Even like Penny. I have not seen one Penny deck. Atraxa. I love that deck. I made that deck the second that card dropped. I thought that deck was so cool, but it's crap without J-Lo.
Well, there's some people who are like, "No, that deck's just fine. I could still play it." I'm like, yeah, you can play it, and sometimes you'll win.
Exactly, but let's be honest. Around those colors, play TNT.
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree. But anyway, dude, thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking about
Max. It's been a damn pleasure. It's always an honor to talk tech with you. And listen, man, I call you the grandfather of CDH right now. You gotta hold on to that title. You gotta hold on to it, especially now that you just won the Festival Nights too, man. I gotta give you that honor. You gotta keep it up.
Champion. I'm the champion.
Right there, baby.
I'm the winner.
Number 1.
I'm the winner. But yeah,
at least of that one.
hey, I'm coming back. I'm coming back for more. Yeah,
we'll see you in the boil, man. Take down the boil.
I'm not gonna be there. I'm not gonna be there.
No. Oh no. Okay.
I'm going to Europe. I'm going to the European Championship.
Oh, I heard about that. That's right. I heard you and Comedian talking about that. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
We'll
we're
take
going
that
there.
Down,
that's the weekend after the boil too, and I'm
for
married
the sake
for
of
18
travel,
years
it's not worth
I'm,
that. Yeah.
I'm married for 18 years because I'm not stupid. If I tried to go to both of those things, yeah, that'd be the end.
Lord knows I got my fair share of super woman aggro when I got home after 5 days in Vegas. Even my cat was pissed at me. I walked in the door, my cat was like, "I don't know who you are." Turned his nose and ran off. And I was like, "Okay, please, my son, you have to love me."
It's awesome. But yeah, Trent, man, it's been a pleasure having you on and talking about Sisay. Like, so to everyone watching, if you don't get it by now, Sisay actually is not dead. It's actually maybe even stronger than before. Somehow everyone who wasn't playing Sisay have slept on it, and now you are awake. And be ready.
Wake up, boys.
This deck is coming for your ass. It's coming.
Yes, sir.
You. So Trent, do you do any coaching or anything on Sisay?
I do coaching. I actually just started doing it. I've had a few people hit me up. I'm more than happy to always help. I just want to make sure people are doing the right things. I'm working on making some content with one of my friends. We're gonna start putting out some more informative Sisay content. We'll talk CDH sometimes, but the most important thing I want to get at is having intelligent conversations about Sisay, the weirdest deck that no one knows how to play right. That's pretty much my take on it so far. You need help with it? Feel free to hit me up in my DMs. I would love to help. It's a personal pleasure.
Awesome. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please please subscribe. I do have a Patreon. All of that will be in the links below in the description. Please check out our other videos. Come find us. Come talk to us. We love to talk shop. Always happy to have conversations about this stuff. It's just fun. And lastly, shout out to my boys over at the Curio Cavern over in Springfield. What's going on, guys? We'll see you at the next video. Thanks, guys.